same thing that was happening last time. That
No. It
different
says
thing.
we're live, so tell them to go and refresh and see what happens.
Let me. I shall refresh my own.
I'm good.
I see you live. I see your
Yep.
your desk with the sprue.
Yep.
Legionnaire said we're back. We're back.
We're back.
So,
Guys, sorry about this. Twitch has been acting really crazy lately. That's one of the things that we've been discussing as a team about other ways that we can provide you content besides through Twitch. So that's
yeah,
one of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about as a team.
because sending the email to Twitch just said, "Don't be bitch." Does not work.
Yeah. What else? Some things we're talking. So we got a new web store coming, or not web store, a new place to buy all of our products.
Yep.
New sponsors coming up. New things that we're doing. Redoing some of our Patreon rewards for y'all. So,
Oh yes, Legionnaires is wondering what the model is, and so am I.
Sorry. This. Okay, so over the Christmas break, actually, when I went to a gaming convention, I bought the Hobbit Goblin city thing super cheap from this guy at a convention. He was just trying to get rid of them, and so it was like
That
70%
explains
off.
something.
Do what?
That explains something.
Right? Right?
So,
Yeah.
I played a bunch of Lord of the Rings and had a blast with it. And of course, Kathy loves goblins. So I'm like, I'm not going to play that goblin army. So I gave Kathy the goblin side of it.
You like goblins.
Yeah.
And then the Goblin King.
Yeah, it was a Goblin King, all the
I'll paint
goblins.
that on my stream. I'll assemble that and paint that on my live stream.
And then, of course, John likes dwarves. So I gave him the dwarven side of the Goblin City.
Oh, cool.
He got
I
all the
like the
dwarves.
Hobbit dwarves.
Yeah. And so he got that, and was it Bilbo was in there? Bilbo, Gandalf, and all the dwarves.
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah.
it.
All the
But
colors.
for buying the box set, you got a free miniature, and I kept this one and the terrain piece.
Yeah.
It is Ragadash.
Oh, Radagast.
Radagast.
Oh, okay.
And so I was going to put him together, even though I do need to work on finish up my Mompak. I was going to put him together because it's just kind of chill, and it's got a really cool dynamic pose. Looks
Yeah.
really simple.
He's much more dynamic than the original one they made, though.
Yeah.
I really like that model.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so
But that wasn't portrayed by a former Doctor Who.
Sylvester McCoy.
Exactly.
I could not believe. I was like, it's Sylvester McCoy.
But Legionnaires does bring up something I think is interesting, and it's not part of what we're going to be talking about, but I think we should talk about anyway.
I am excited for the Gloomspite Gits. I was reading about those, and it's so fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, they got the new Age of Sigmar army, which is
Goblins.
Bad Moons? Goblins. They did release, someone did have a picture from the book, and a few models. Of course, there's Squig Riders,
Of course.
which is great because I think that was a really cool little thing. And so people are really super excited about this army coming out.
That's an understatement. It is really a buzz on Twitter I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is cool because I think that's needed. It's one of those armies that
Very flavorful.
yes.
And the models are really, really hitting that exact mark.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They tempted me, but again, I'm not that many guys again. Never again.
But I saw it and I was like, all those Squig Riders. I'm like, oh man, that would be so fun. I can't wait to see the rules and see what it's like.
It sounds like it'll be really cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a really cool thing. I'm looking forward because any new army to Age of Sigmar is cool because I think it's an underplayed game because it gets overshadowed by 40K, but I think it's making its way up.
Yeah, it is a bit.
It is. I mean, they had to deal with a lot of bitterness and fallout from when they switched over, to Age of Sigmar just to begin with, but they're slowly drawing a lot of those people back in.
Yes, very much so.
and a lot of fair bitterness and all, because they really did kind of
Oh.
shit the bed with that release.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
But
Yeah.
they've been like shortly after that. I mean, whenever they changed over, they've been on the right path for a while now. And that's good to see.
Yeah, whenever they switched to the General's Handbook and got all that going, it really, I like
And the
it.
second edition of Sigmar fixed just enough that seems okay.
Yeah,
Still not a fan of double turns. But it is what it is.
yeah. I mean, I played in a tournament with that recently, and I had a blast. Even losing, I still was doing stuff. Even when I got tabled, I was still doing stuff and still had a chance to do stuff.
Yeah. The mechanics of now charging your entire army into the enemy is not necessarily the best call.
No, because you
And
can
start making
still.
some long charges. You're like, okay, fine, I'll let you beat up this unit I got no chance on, but then this unit gets to kick the crap out of that unit first.
Well, what's interesting is you can actually be tabled and still win the game now.
Yes, they have gone to like they call adult scenarios, where it's not about just wiping your enemy off. You can actually still win if you have enough points
Sure.
before the end of the game.
Yeah, which is good.
That is cool. Yeah.
Well, like I said, like to call it an adult scenario. The kid scenarios are kill everyone.
Yep.
Yeah. No terrain. I'll charge forward. Charge forward. We'll just roll some dice. You might as well be playing Yahtzee.
Yeah.
Pretty close. So I think I'm better at Yahtzee than I am at Age of Sigmar.
I'll definitely be playing a bit more Age of Sigmar in the coming year, so I'm looking forward to it. I started rewriting lists and stuff, and started figuring out what I would take, so I could start painting it because I want to.
Oh, Legionnaire says he just saw the dank old Troggoth. Yeah, the Troggoth is.
It's pretty dank.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty dank.
Yeah.
Oh.
That
Me-
just looks like so much fun to paint.
Yeah.
So on to our main topic of hobby goals.
So I think we should say one, describe what it is, and then
We should actually start by seeing back if we can remember what our hobby goals were for last year.
oh shit.
Yes, we probably could have listened to that podcast and prepared, but no.
That wouldn't be right.
It's too close to actual preparation. We can't have that shit.
I don't even
We have
remember.
standards to maintain.
Well, I have a notebook here. Let's see.
Oh god, did you actually take notes from last year?
I don't think so. Well, I might have thrown all that stuff away. This is December 3rd.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure it's... Oh, no, it was last December 3rd because it's my Necromunda Goliath gang that I was working on.
Oh wow. And yes,
So-
there's I do remember mine because I had a very simple one.
This one we're gonna get serious.
Oh,
So
we're being
serious.
serious?
We're gonna take this one very serious.
I mean, I took mine seriously. I mean, how about I start? Last year's was hobby streak through the entire year, and as I'm still going, I think that was a rousing success.
Yes,
you did.
It was.
I know a lot of people that are very inspired by your 1 year hobby streak.
Not even I'm actually trailing at least one person I see on Twitter, which impresses me. But yeah, we keep going. I like how we've been mutual supportive. So between Necromiles making the Hobby Streak Facebook group, which if you're interested in, just find us and yell or yell in here, and we'll add you to it. We support each other. We support each other. Follow each other on Twitter. It's a very good, supportive thing. I've been very enjoyable. I'm still on classic hobby streak, i.e. games don't count. Not even punching out 7 million counters and making 1 million dials for X-Wing doesn't count. Even after doing all that, I went upstairs and did some actual hobbying too.
You got all your X-Wing stuff for the new edition put in.
Yeah, right. Like I got the Rebel conversion kit, but it actually only covers a handful of ships. I still have a ton of extras. I got, I mean, good lord. And when you think about, how many ships you buy, and also in the last February, March, I got a bunch of extra models
Uh huh.
from a guy because he was getting out of that and Mordheim, or not Mordheim, other M, Malifaux.
Malifaux.
One of those M words. So I got a ton of ships super cheap and a ton of models. I mean, it was so cheap I felt bad, and I generally don't feel bad. But
Which,
yeah, so I still have... Go ahead.
just a little bit off topic. How excited are you for the new Malifaux coming out?
Oh, sorry. Medium excited. We'll see how it ends up. I'm trying not to get overhyped.
Because I know that's one of your games. And I know I know a lot of people that are kind of excited for it.
Yeah, it should be very interesting.
I'd like to see it because that's a game I would like to try a little bit more into, but of course, getting people to do that is another thing.
Sometimes difficult, yes.
Yeah. So, okay. So, what is your new year since you made your last year's? What's your new year one?
God, that's difficult. I don't know. Paint something? You guys laugh. That's ha ha ha. John's making a joke. I haven't painted a complete model in a year, so
He
I
is
really feel like...
assembled.
Oh yeah, I've assembled all the models.
Yeah, and now it's time to paint.
Actually, you just told Madness Minis, aka Chris Wells, one of my buddies from used to be down here, now is up in Buffalo area. He posted that they're doing some sort of 40K tournament in June, I think it is. And I told him tentatively, since I can stay at his place, I'm in. So that's my current goal is to get a 40K army painted in time for that. Because I would like to go fully painted. I would also like to get a bunch of my rebels painted for Star Wars Legion. And then after that, we'll start seeing if we can paint anything else. I bought this whole new desk and new setup so I could set up my paint and hobby things at the same time and not have to spend a million years cleaning up and then setting up in order to switch back and forth. So,
Yeah.
time to make it all work. And Gonzo, why aren't you using plastic glue?
Because I don't own plastic glue right now.
I had that same thought. I'm like, oh, he's using that super glue. Why
Oh,
he's not using plastic glue? But everybody's
You slayed
different
me.
the way they like their glue.
No, I don't have any
plastic
plastic
glue is
glue.
superior. Holy crap, so good.
Yeah, I just don't have any plastic glue right now, so I'm using this old...
And when you buy new super glue, Gorilla Glue with the brush,
Gorilla glue.
with the brush,
Oh, with the brush.
with the brush,
Oh,
is
I mean, that's
super sweet and totally legit.
that's a little more than I usually just take a tiny bit and put it on the top of a milk cap because those milk caps and super glue have an interesting non-reaction.
Yeah.
So it stays wet for a long time, and I just have a paper clip that I apply it with because I'm
Yep.
fancy that way.
You're so
Fancy schmancy.
But yeah, so back to topic. My first goal would be to actually paint an entire 40K army.
What army do you think you might be doing?
I mean, knights.
Just knights?
Of the round table.
I'm totally going to have some other models to go with them. I'm not just going to paint knights. But I did get back into 40K because of knights, so I'm totally going to paint up some knights.
Oh, yeah.
So that army is
Need,
probably 3 knights and then whatever infantry from Allied Imperium I wish to add. We'll see what that is. I haven't really thought that far ahead. Step 1, paint a knight or 3.
A knight or 3.
Well, so most of my builds have 3 knights. So if I paint up 3 knights, it's a good start, and then I can... The whole idea is I want to actually... This is a super goal here. I want to get 3 knights painted, the 3 core ones I'm going to play with, and then I can just mix and match what Imperium Force I want. Do I want to use the Euclidean Star Striders from the Kill Team box as my infantry and all? I can do that. Do I want to use them AdMech? I can do that. Do I want to bribe some of my Death Watch? I can do that. Since I can use any Imperium factions together, I mean...
Yeah.
That's sort of my initial goal, so to speak, is to get that core done, and then I can do everything. So that's my main goal. And I do actually enjoy having a ton of different models. It's a good change of pace once in a while to switch up between, say, 40K and Age of Sigmar and Legion, and very rarely War Machine, but I did a couple of those recently, and like Shadespire / Nightbolt. It's cool to have a good variety of miniatures to go through.
Oh, yeah. Painting up variety also keeps it from being boring, too. Especially
Yes.
when you have to do units.
Most games are to the point where they're not boring for units anymore because when you think about even the biggest unit I built for Age of Sigmar was 20 models. In the fantasy days, that's like a starter. It's a tasting. I have a little taste of that unit. Here's 20 models.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kathy, what's your first hobby goal?
I want to finish my Geller Pox that I've been working on and actually play with them. I don't know anybody like in person who plays, so I have to find somebody. I know Adepticon is coming up in March, so I'm kind of hoping what I'd like to do is get them all done so that I can take them. But I did that with my Necromunda last year, and I ended up not playing. But I will also bring Zombicide. That I'm getting a little off topic there because it's Adepticon. But yeah, my Gellerpox are my big guys are half done, I think. Each one of them has some paint on it. I'm just looking at them sitting over here next to me. I think on Thursday's stream, I'm going to be working on the 4 glitchlings, which are the short little sort of stitched together people.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my Thursday live stream project. But yeah, I want to get these done in time for Adepticon so that I might be able to actually play Kill Team something. Yeah.
Yeah, plus they're usable in 40K, but Kill Team probably be ideal for them.
Yeah, so that's one of my goals.
Cool. Gonzo, what's your first goal?
Paint more.
Well,
Paint a whole lot more and get better at it. Right now, I mean, I'm okay. I don't consider myself a great painter, but I do consider myself decent. But I want to get better at it. I want to try some new techniques, do some new things, make some things look cooler, etc., etc. Do everything that's going to be necessary for me to get some cool things done. Also, just trying new things. Like I said, I have an airbrush, and this airbrush is amazing, and I need to start using it effectively. It's not waste money on it.
Fair. Absolutely fair. Airbrush money, but not going to happen. Not anytime soon.
Which, because of that, I'll be playing a little bit more 40K this year, so I'm working on my Tau, and I decided to build my Cold Star.
Oh, cool. That's a cool model. I love the big models because, man, it's super... They're the ones you really want to do.
Yeah.
One has guns with guns.
Yeah, because this one is my Cold Star with 4 Fusion Blasters.
So, I know that's how it's supposed to go together, but I probably wouldn't put the shields on it, and I would flip the Fusion Blasters because I really like the look of the ammo canister vent thing off the side away from him.
I did that. I put them up. I took them and blue tacked them, so they were like this. And it was just too wide for the body because it stuck out like this, and it was just way too big. So that's the reason why I flipped them on the side. And I was like, something needs to go on the side right there. And, I have these old bottom shields from drones. And I've got 50 billion drones already. So I clipped them and put them on there. And so...
I'll tell you, that's what I had most missed about GW model kits is just the...
Kit bashing?
Bird stuff. Kit bash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
Love it.
We're actually starting to do some with Legion. My buddy L. Marshall wants to steal the crew from my last Rebel laser cannon to start making some Hoth troopers out of. So I'm like, sure, I'll just put the cannon together and then I'll make a laser cannon with some regular Rebel trooper crew or Under trooper crew. So that'll be cool. But a little kit bashing is cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier with GW stuff.
Yes, it is. So there's so much extra that they do for it. But I also have the Tau Supremacy suit. And so that's a huge model. Their version of a knight, if you would, be so bold.
Have you put it together yet?
It is put together.
Damn.
It's put together with the arms and the top piece magnetized.
Okay.
So I've got those magnetized and ready. I've had it for almost a year, but I got it as a gift for myself at last Adepticon. And, well, actually, I bought it directly from Forge World instead of at Adepticon because they are more expensive at Adepticon.
Yeah.
But never got a chance to play it because nobody wanted to play that high of points where it was worth it to take.
Oh, gosh. Yep.
But recently they have taken their point value of it and dropped it down dramatically. And so now you can field it in a 1,500 point army.
Yeah, I was going to give you a review of Chapter Approved, but I didn't buy one 2 weeks ago, and they're out of stock right now, so it'll be a little bit before I can get to that.
Yeah, it's I got the Chapter Approved. I actually got it super, super cheap because I went to that tournament and got a prize, and, well, that went to the Chapter Approved because I have all the models I need. And so I've been looking at stuff.
Do you? Do
Okay.
you really?
That he had at the
one
store.
does, really.
That he had at the store.
I'll be honest, there's occasional times I'm like, I need something for Hobby Streak so I don't start digging into stuff. And it gets a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
I've been starting to pace myself. I still got the rest of Blackstone Fortress Symbol, but that's off topic. In any case, you want to paint more and get better at it.
I definitely want to get better at it. That's one of my things is to try new techniques, try new paints, try new things. One of the things I want to learn how to do is non-metallic metals. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I want to learn how to use my airbrush a lot better. Right now I use my airbrush for priming and then also getting colors that I hate to paint on a model real quick, like the reds and yellows when I'm painting the whole model like red and yellow. I hate trying to paint red and yellow. So that's why I did, my first Tau paint scheme was the yellow, and it was airbrushed on. And it, of course, goes on so much easier.
Yes.
Whenever you can airbrush that color on.
They look a lot like my first Tau. Just, I had green with them, so they end up looking like Green Bay Packers, and I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea.
So I'm still gonna go with this paint scheme. I just need to figure out the good accent colors I want to use. I do have my color wheel around here somewhere. Because, of course, the little Tau circle things.
Fiction, or steal from another faction. Maybe make them look kind of Altiok. Do it blue with the yellow. They'll look sort of like the Eldar Altiok, but with Tau, it'd look completely different.
Yeah, I just got to figure out. I mean, this yellow with the what is this? Casadora yellow.
Your light actually makes it look like standard Tau Sept ochre on the camera.
Yeah, it's actually pretty bright, and this is the one I did the Gundam marker on. In the lines of the gun just to test it out. And on this back. But didn't like it, didn't care for it.
I mean, it worked pretty well.
Yeah, it worked well. It's just I didn't like it. So I'm going to use this yellow paint scheme because it's yellow and orange. Orange wash type thing. And then black pants. But then all the little gubbins and bits and whatever you want to call it are all in there that need to be changed up.
You're going for the Bumblebee. Bumblebee, it's a good color scheme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't want to do... I wanted another darker, bright color, if that makes sense. Like a blue.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure which one I wanted to do. I just have to wait and see. That's one of the things I'm going to do on whenever I start streaming on Wednesdays again. I'm going to start experimenting. Those are going to be my experimenting days.
But yeah, that's a good note for everyone listening. Is that steal your paint schemes from anywhere. Try not to do it from a local or talk to them about it first because that gets a little off-putting if you do it something exactly the same. But steal like my dwarves, my Rulik for War Machine are all Crimson Guard from G.I. Joe because like the paint scheme and it worked out well. So steal what you can.
Yeah.
Stealing from sports teams is always good too. I mean, speaking as someone who started painting miniatures, really, while I was painting Blood Bowl models, you just want your guys to look like, the Bears or the Packers or the Vikings or whatever.
Just not the Dallas Cowboys. Never the Dallas Cowboys.
Never the Dallas Cowboys. Cheers.
Anyways, I guess we're back over to me for my second. I sort of spewed them all out at once, but the second one is also to paint some other armies. I should probably get some Legion painted. I'm playing a lot of that. It's really not a shit ton of models when you think about it. My average army is, still only about it's under 40 models easily. With only 6-man squads at most, and Wookiees are even less. And just in case you didn't listen to that last cast, Wookiees are kind of fun.
Wookiees!
Yeah, did it all with the Wookiee. The Wookiee. He ain't a rookie. All right, I'm done with that. Any case, yeah, I want to paint some Legion up. Maybe get a good force. Maybe I don't necessarily need to get them all painted. That would be a super lofty goal with the painting on the 40k army as well. But I'd like to get like a lot of the core models that I play a lot done. An ATR tier 2, a couple units of Rebel troopers, some fleet troopers. Just that stuff that you're using all the time. Just get that done. I think that's a good goal.
Are you going to include one of your goals as start streaming?
No. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
It's okay.
No, I would like to stream it, but I'm not going to make it a goal. Because, another good thing about
Hey, Congo's here.
Hey, Congo!
But, you don't want to make your goal, you don't want to have too much goals. And if it's something you're planning on doing anyways, making that a goal is just sort of cheating. You want to make your goals something you actually have to kind of work for.
Yeah.
If you make it too easy, someone once said that a goal that everyone can achieve is no goal at all.
Sure.
No, it's not. I mean, that's just what you do. It's like, I want to wake up every day. Well, you fucking hopefully, but that's sort of what you do anyway. That's not a good goal.
Some people have to start with small goals.
Yeah, but you got to make it something beyond wake up every day.
Well, yeah.
Wake up, be in a good mood every day. That's a lofty goal. That'd be a good one.
That's me every day. I'm a morning person. It's sick.
Oh.
It's twisted, but
Perfect.
That's maybe mine is more like be grumpy like the rest of you people.
I'm not grumpy in the morning. I mean, I am on my drive to work, but that's because there's a million idiots around me. But anyway.
Well, that's at one time when I was making the daily hour and 20-minute commute in Chicago, I was thinking I should live stream myself.
Facebook Live it.
No one uses that kind of language.
Commenting. Right? That's why I never did it. I was like, totally not safe for work.
Yeah. So be careful with the goals. Like, yeah, I do want to start streaming my hobby streak and whatever I'm doing, but I'm not going to make that a goal. So, there you go. Kathy, you got a goal number 2?
Well, I mean, obviously the paint more thing is I have some busts from Blackheart models that I really want to work on. I've only started the Lily Munster and I never finished it. I have a Morticia Adams. I have a Vampirella. I have a bunch of Lovecraft themed busts from Blackheart models that I would like to get some paint on. I want to finish all of my figures for the Mask of the Red Death board game. I have half of them done. Let's see, I have 2, 4, 5 complete. I have 1 that's half done and 4 after that. So I'm on target with that if I'm painting them on the stream. But there's so many other things I want to paint on the stream. But yeah, I need to finish the lettering on my TARDIS. I'm just looking at my desk here.
Lots of stuff you can finish.
Looking at stuff that's for me. Like I have a TARDIS. It's a Reaper miniature, and I painted everything blue, and I just have to do the police box lettering on the. But it's like 2 inches tall, so that lettering is very tiny, and I did it on one side. And I was happy to know that I could do it, but I didn't do it on the rest of the sides. So then I have another, not Malifaux, but Puppet Wars. I don't know if you saw my Instagram or Facebook. On my last live stream, I was painting Rusty Alice from the Weird Games Puppet Wars board game, which is all the puppets are based off of characters from Malifaux. So I had Rusty Alice that was sitting here, and now I have a Victoria that's sitting here that's almost done, and I want to finish that off. And I have a whole bunch more. I have like all of them for Puppet Wars. They're all primed. I just need to paint them.
And I know it's hard to get time when what you do is painting. It's hard to get time to paint your own stuff.
Yeah, to paint my own stuff. That's the thing.
But that's a goal to have, is to paint some of your own stuff and intermix it there, finishing things up.
Yeah. So, what about Gonzo? You have a second goal?
My second goal, and I know it's not really hobby, but it is gaming hobby related, is to play more casual stuff. As you know, I'm a pretty good. I love my competitive stuff. I love playing competitively, but there are so many more games out there that are, and I'm putting the air quotes because people that are competitive War Machine and Horde players know what I'm talking about. It's a different type of competition, and there's nothing wrong with anything to do. But I just want to play some more casual stuff. Not that I have to worry. I don't want to have to worry about anything. Don't have to worry about. I better have this maximized list for full potential, et cetera, et cetera. I've got to cut back on my competitive streak type stuff anyway. Won't be able to go to a bunch of different things next year. So I want to play some more non-competitive type army games. And I hate to say that way because, I love my War Machine and Hordes. I have a fun time playing it. Don't have any issues with it. But there are so many more games out there that I consider to be less of a issue, I guess the best way to put it.
It's okay to like more than just one game.
Correct. But there's like I love Star Wars Legion. And it's still competitive, but it's a different type of competitive. Lord of the Rings, I liked Lord of the Rings. It was fun. I liked playing Gimli and Legolas and them trying to beat the crap out of more models and stuff. And I liked building the armies. I really want to try Malifaux because I fucking love Malifaux models. Getting people to play it, different story, but that's something I want to do next year is try a bunch of different things. I liked playing Age of Sigmar. I'm going to try to play more of that. I've got a decent group, more local guys that play it. So that's kind of something I can deal with. I can go with that. Take it a little bit more relaxed this year on my gaming part. So I know there's a bunch of new games coming out next year. I know that there's a bunch of new things that are going to be happening in my life, so I've got to just chill, have a good time. Still play War Machine and Hordes because that's my primary, but not have to worry about much.
Yeah, got to pace yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Go, okay, well, I didn't bring my War Machine and Hordes. I only brought my blah, blah, blah. And that's what I'm going to play this today. So that's kind of my thing. It's just take it more relaxed this year. I've got a lot of other real life things that I probably won't have a lot of time to devote to running to 13 different conventions to test out my War Machine and Hordes, combative nature again.
Yep. So my number 3 is a simple one. Is keep the hobby streak going. Can I get through 2 full years of hobby streak?
Oh shit!
I'll have more vacation time. It'll be more interesting. We'll see if that's possible. But it is a goal to keep going and see if I can do that. It sounds simple. Just keep hobby streaking.
Right.
But the traditional version is hard because it's a lot of stuff to do. And if you want to get any painting done, you got to sit down for more than a half an hour at a time. So that'll be interesting.
Yep.
That's usually the case, but if you just set a goal for yourself, I have a friend who was doing this. And he would set a goal for himself. If I could just get this done on these 5 guys. He's like, I just want to do the pants on these 5 guys. And he would, and bit by bit, if he had a half hour, or an hour, pretty soon his whole army was done. And he was like, I can't believe it. Just like, here's 5 guys, that's all I'm working on. And when you do it in that small amount, it seems like it's more manageable. Like, some people have that mentality of, I've got this entire army, I need to get them done, and it becomes overwhelming. But when you say, here's 5 models, and all they want to do is paint the pants on them, then it becomes a little...
Your goals for, like, I need to go to this event that's coming up, I got plenty of time. Well, just start painting for that event. It's a manageable goal. You're like, all right, I've got, 30 models, and I've got, 50 days. Well, that's pretty easy. You can math that out and go like, can I do that? Well, let's give it a shot. I've always found that I've had good experiences when I've had a goal to paint. That wasn't, like, unreasonable.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, hey, John, the next article we need for White Dwarf goes and has to be delivered in 20 days. You have to paint an entire Lord of the Rings army. And you're like, well, fuck my life. Because I don't have one anymore.
Yes, you do.
No, it's literally, I get up, I go to work, I come home, I paint Lord of the Rings models.
No,
it's really hard to do much else. That it was years ago, but it burned me out quite a bit for quite some time.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Burnt out is quite easily impossible when you have 50 billion games or 50 billion models, and you just like, I need to paint this. I got to paint this. I got to paint this. And like Adepticon, since they require fully painted, you've got to buckle down and do it. And so some people can't handle it.
To be fair, having judged models in tournaments at Adepticon, it's not like you have to have it Golden Demon standard.
No.
It's 3 colors, and sometimes those people just think primer is a color. So I've seen plenty of, gray or black. So it's really not an impossible task to slap 3 colors.
No.
On a model, on an army.
No, it's
but it
not.
doesn't give you the same completion feeling inside you when you get 3 colors on models. You're like, yeah, sure, they're painted, but they're not done.
For some people that, they just want something they can throw on the table so they can play the game, and I can understand that mentality. I'm not going to say you're doing it wrong if 3 color minimum just so that you can play the game that you like, it's not doing it wrong.
But that's something.
No, but I always have a problem with that as being, it doesn't feel like you're done.
Yeah, I think that's the personal preference.
Yeah, I agree.
Some people are like, here, I dry brushed all my Necrons and did a little bit of red on their eyeballs. Done.
Oh, I mean, yeah, Necron's like... The thing is, that's the kind of army that you feel like you get it done. You're like, all right. So I sprayed them black. I put silver on all of them, and now it's time for a little bit of detail work, a little dry brush, and Bob's your uncle.
Yeah.
Maybe a wash. You're feeling crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. But I mean, that it's also a personal preference too, because some people are like, "That's the best that I can do." You're like, "All right."
If you've done your best, no one should judge you.
No.
Unless you've entered a painting competition, then you're asking to be judged, but that's different.
Yeah.
Oh, so Kathy, do you have a number 3, or is 2 enough?
For me, it's gaming. Is playing the games, because this year I was looking back, and the only game that I've really played, I was even thinking board games. I realized that of the monthly, like every month we would get together at my friend's house to play board games once a month, and for the last 6 months, for various reasons, we weren't able to make it, so I haven't even played board games. The only thing I've really played regularly is D&D on my Monday night group, and then the Warhammer Champions card game only because it's an app on my phone, and I can play that wherever. You know, I don't have to go to the game store to find people to play with. And the last few times I tried going to the game store to, to maybe arrange a game, it was somebody who, something came up and they couldn't make it. So I still haven't played that game in physical form. So I just want to play a game out on the table. It looks more like it's going to be Song of Ice and Fire, because that's a game that we have models for, a lot of them, and it's at our house. My husband is interested in playing it, so unlike Age of Sigmar, unlike 40K, he's one of the people that was burned by GW and is still bitter and is not going to come back. He's like, nope, sorry, I'm done. I was burned too many times, where they nerfed this army and then they nerfed this army and then they completely changed the world and, everything became obsolete, and it just kept happening over and over with whatever armies he chose. So he's like, I'm done. There isn't much you can do with like a World War II game. You can't really change the lore.
No. That becomes weird World War II.
And that's kind of like why he kind of gravitated towards the historical games. It's like, this is my color scheme. This is the backstory. The backstory is not going to change. They're not going to start adding, magic. They're not going to, the worst they can do is like alter the rules a little, So, but yeah, he was so frustrated with that. I wasn't as invested. I didn't spend nearly as much time with armies fully painted, like Golden Demon winning armies, to be told, well, that doesn't really work anymore. That rule, that's obsolete. Those models are obsolete. You can't play this. You can't do that. So I'm willing to give them another try. So I do want to play some AOS. I do want to play some Night Vault. I do want to play some, Kill Team. So that's my third one, is just to play more games.
Fair enough. Banian put his in the chat there. One is to average a game a week, which is bold. If only you lived with another gamer to make that more easily possible, that might make it doable.
What?
Yeah. 2 is to complete the kits I have and complete my armies. Another good goal. That's another lofty one. And 3, good generic one, get back into painting. That's good, solid 3 goals there.
Yeah.
Gonzo, you got number 3?
And number 3 is kind of like, it's not only just a goal, but it's also a resolution type thing where I need to do it for myself as a personal thing. And
that's for a resolutions episode, which would probably be next week.
Well, the thing is, but it has to do with the hobby stuff, and I need to do it. Okay. Purging. I've come to the realization that I have too much stuff and not enough time or effort to do it. Mm-hmm. And
what?
Yeah.
Too much stuff, not enough. Hold on, how many games do I have sitting on?
Yeah, same thing. But to try to remind myself that I can't buy into every game that I want or every game that I have because I just don't have the time. And so I'm going to have to purge some stuff. Which, if anybody wants to buy some stuff, I'm selling a shit ton of stuff. But I gotta purge a bunch of items, and I gotta remind myself next year that I'm gonna go, all right, am I buying this model, or am I buying these models because I think I'm gonna paint them, or am I buying these models because am I buying them because I'm going to paint them, or am I buying them because I'm going to play them? You know what I'm saying? Because there's a cool thing to have cool looking models.
Yep.
But do I need to buy the entire army?
No.
Because I might play them. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I do. Someone who has 8 different game systems models on my little painting station. Yes, I kind of understand a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, what do I really need to do? So that's one of my hobby goals is to not jump in completely on everything. Oh, that's a cool game. Let me try it out. Let me try it out. Let me try it out
Yes.
again. Let me try it out
The
again.
local store gets a demo, can get a demo going for you. See if one of the guys there can demo the game. That way, you're not just buying into every game as soon as it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's my thing is doing that too because I don't want. I've got to save money for next year for some big projects that are coming up, and so I've got to just kind of. I've already started purge lists of things, of like board games and card games and armies. I've got
Representative Road, borrow from friends that are buying. That is always a good idea.
yeah. I mean, I'm getting rid of 140k army that I thought was going to play. Never, I only played it twice.
Yeah, that's we have multiple army disease like crazy,
Yep.
and we need to, as a community, calm that down and just go like maybe just focus on the one army.
Yeah.
Like yes, if you're playing something like Shadespire or Kill Team, where an army is like
10
I got
models.
10 models or
Yeah.
10 models,
Yeah, yeah.
5 models. I mean, I guess 7 in the case of some of the Shadespire, but sure, it's fine. But keep that in mind, Or if you've got your army done and it's fully painted and all, that's a good time to go for another army. But think about the playing time too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I bought the 2 Monpok armies. All right, that's 10 models. I can understand that. Buying into like I really like the Infernal models for the new faction coming out. I think those are really cool. But I'm looking at them like, am I really going to play that? And if I do I really need 2 other War Machine and Horde armies? Probably, because I'm saying, because I'm a nerd and I get into it. But I need to think about that more
Yes.
before I jump completely in
Mhm.
on stuff. So, other than that, what time is it, by the way?
Time to talk about movies since
Ooh.
someone watched all the movies.
Since I watched a
Movies.
crap ton of movies. All right, give me a second and I'll switch over our scene.
But yeah, so that's our basic hobby goals. You can have more than that, but if you give yourself too many goals, maybe you should see if you've either made them too easy or if maybe you're overwhelming yourself trying to get to a lot of them.
Okay, so we're back on the media section. Everybody's done like 40 billion media sections, so it'll be really cool. I mean, Kathy said she watched 17 movies this weekend, or this past
Yeah,
week.
that's a lie. No, I'm just telling you flat out. I watched like a shit ton of the Great British Baking Show because Jim and I are just watching a couple episodes a night, or every couple nights, I suppose. And there was a pause during the holidays when we were in Minnesota. But yeah, I watched 4 Weddings and a Funeral today because it was on TV,
Well,
and all I could think when I was watching it was I saw that actor on Midsummer Murders. I saw that actor on Midsummer Murders. I saw this guy on Midsummer Murders. That one was on Doctor Who. This one's been in like every single thing I've ever seen that's BBC, And so it was fun to identify all of the British actors that were familiar to me. Just kind of a hobby.
interesting hobby.
Well, what can I say? Some people paint tiny soldiers.
So, what's your opinion of 4 Weddings and a Funeral?
I thought it was funny, but I like British shows. I was not a Hugh Grant fan, but I love John Hannah. John Hannah was was another actor that was in it that I really love everything that he's in. John Hannah. He's, I imagine, Scottish. I'm not up on all of my accents and everything, but I'm pretty sure he's Scottish. Yeah. John's the master of the Googles. But yeah, he's
I was
been in
making
a
sure it was the
million
guy I
things.
thought it was. He was in the Mummy movies with Brandon
Yeah.
Fraser.
So he has to be one of my favorite Scottish actors.
I mean, There's a lot of good Scottish actors. Okay, there's actually
Sean Connery.
Yeah, there's Sean Connery and John Hannah and
There has to be more.
hold on. The guy who's in all the crappy action movies now, not Liam Neeson.
Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi is northern. Is he northern or is he actually Scottish?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of this actor's name. Hold on one second here.
And then David Tennant is Scottish.
Well, David Tennant's awesome.
Well, right.
What rating do you give for weddings and a funeral or whatever it is for funerals and wedding, whatever order that shit goes in?
I'd give it 1. 1 space or B.
Gerard Butler. He's Scottish and he's terrible.
I didn't say every Scottish actor was brilliant.
No, just want to remember.
Brilliant, I should say.
Oh, 1 space or B. Okay, Gonzo, I feel like we're gonna have to let you get one in here edgewise, or
We have to. That's all I've got. I mean, really.
Okay. I watched a lot of Netflix this and rented a couple of movies. I watched 2036 Origins Unknown. I can't remember the lady's name. It's the lady that plays Starbucks in the Battlestar Galactica TV show. The story is based on we finally got a mission.
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, we finally got people to Mars, and when we landed, something happened and the spaceship was destroyed with all the people on it.
Oh, so
do what?
I said I know what happened. I saw that episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah. And so, as a precaution from all this going down, we decided to use artificial intelligence and robots to go to Mars and just people sitting behind a desk now. The movie fucking sucked. Let's just put it out there. Let's not sugarcoat shit with this one. It was completely predictable. Everything was going, but the story was so convoluted and flipped back and forth that there's actually plenty of people online. They're like, what happened at the end of this? It tried to put too much into it, tried to go thing. It was just bad. The acting was bad. The story was bad. I mean, you watch most of the movie from one room, one set, and everything's done on like monitors and screens. It's just really, really bad. The story went all over the place. You had no clue what you were doing. It was just bad. I mean, so bad. Just so bad. So totally skipped this one. I'm going like 4 space herpes, pushing 5. It's just that bad. I mean, at least, they could have tried. Because the guy that wrote it, directed it, did everything was the same person. So that kind of hit me off. I'm like, this guy's done every part of the movie. So this is a pet project of his.
Fair enough.
So it was bad.
My first one is a little movie. It's very indie. No one's really heard of it. It was called, based on some old books by some author you never heard of. It was called Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah?
I heard that's supposed to be a pretty good author.
What's that about?
It's about 50 hours long, unfortunately.
Guess you watched the extended editions?
Yeah, I got the Blu-ray
Well,
extended editions.
you have to.
Cheap. No, I have the original editions too. The original theatrical edition is good if you want to watch it in one sitting because it's shorter. The Blu-rays of the extended, though, are split perfectly, so you get done with about an hour and a half or so, and you're like, natural stopping point, I'll stop and come back the next day.
That's what we were supposed to be doing on the 27th when we got home from Minnesota, was going over to our friend's house and having a marathon of those, because we had sentimental reasons and they had sentimental reasons, and so we were all just going to watch them together. But then stupid work things intervened for them, so we had to cancel.
It happens. This just in, they're still good. The extended editions have great world building. You really know what's going on. They actually make Boromir more likable, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if anything, failing of the theatrical versions is Boromir wasn't really likable.
No.
except for a handful of parts. And this one, he's a lot more likable. It's very cool. It's a very well done movie.
Yeah.
I would say it is the most watchable of the movies because it feels complete.
Yeah.
And for any directors who want to make a movie that's going to end on a downer, I'm not sure if I'm shooting this directly at any directors at all, in particular, but take stock of this movie in addition to, Empire Strikes Back. This movie ends on a downer. Gandalf's presumed dead. Boromir's actually dead. The Fellowship is split.
Wait, he dies?
Oh my god. They captured Merry and Pippin, yet somehow it still feels hopeful and upbeat at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very well done. More directors should take stock. This is how you end a movie on a down note, but don't make your audience fucking hate your life.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to point out is, fuck, Aragorn is awesome. That fight scene at Amon Hen at the end. Aragorn and Boromir are both absolute ballers. I'm sure Legolas kills a bunch and Gimli's there, but Aragorn and Boromir are just fucking ballers.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love those. I could watch those scenes every day. Zero space herpes. In fact, I'm even going to go so far as to give it maybe 1 Casablanca out of 5, or give it 4 out of 5 Casablancas.
I would go 4 or 5 Casablancas. I would agree with that.
I don't know if I'm going full 5. It's definitely 4 out of 5 at least.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great movie anyway, no matter what you stand it up to. It's a great movie. So, Gonzo, Kathy's done, so hit us up with number 2.
Oh, well, I did watch one other thing. Jim and I always watch every year It's a Wonderful Life. I had to say it. It's fucking amazing. I cry every time. It's right up there with Casablanca.
So 5 out of 5 Casablancas?
It's a timeless classic every single time. You gotta just so in the 80s when it was kind of rediscovered and every single network was playing it over and over and over, Jim and his brother used to watch it so often. They have the entire thing memorized, like the whole script. And but Jim and I will watch it once every year, and now we can recite lines back and forth to each other. But yeah, I had to mention that one.
Yeah, so 5 out of 5 Casablancas. There's no shock there.
Yeah.
Apparently, Xander cannot watch that movie. You are weird, but it's okay. Not everything's for everyone.
I understand. Yeah, there's people who can't. That's okay.
All right, Gonzo, how do you follow that up? We got a 4 out of 5 Casablancas and a 5 out of 5 Casablancas. What do you got on tap?
My next one, I'm just going to go down my list because I'm not going to skip around. They released a new series based on the Tales of Arcadia. If you don't know, Troll Hunters was the original, and they're making a 3-parter to all these, where all this hometown is all together in one big story. And they released what's called 3 Below. 3 Below is part of the Tales of Arcadia series, where aliens are not exiled but running from their planet and land on Earth in the same town where Troll Hunters is at, and it's about aliens living in the same town. Now, Arcadia, the town, has troll hunters, trolls, aliens, alien hunters, and alien assassins.
So it's like New York City.
Do what?
It's like New York City.
Yes, very much so. Done by the same team, same thing. It is very well done. If you watch Troll Hunters and you liked it, you'll love 3 Below. It's got the same type of comedy, a little bit more teenish, I guess you could say. A little less, touches on some more teen subjects because the kids are a little older. There are appearances from the old crew and the old show. They make cameos, and there's one episode where they cross over. And I thought it was interesting because I was curious what the timeline was, because you saw the new cast in the Troll Hunters series in one episode. And then when their series came out, I was trying to figure out where the show was, timeline was with Troll Hunters. And they actually clear it all up. Makes it super easy. Good cast, good characters, plenty funny parts. Puts a good warm fuzzy feeling in you when you see old cast members come in to a new series. because there's going to be a third series after Three Below that brings wizards into it. And so they're going to have troll hunters, aliens, and wizards all working together. I'm getting some feedback from somebody. And so, hey guys,
What's up?
I got someone's microphone's double.
Yeah. That's you, John.
Weird. I just muted and unmuted it. That's all I did.
But there's going to be a double. There's going to be a third series, and that third series is going to bring all three of the series together, where they have to fight, I guess, all those super badass evil things that have been going on. So it was really good. If you like Troll Hunters, you'll love Three Below. Go watch it, enjoy it. I give it 0 space herpes, 4 out of 5 Casablancas because, well, it's a cartoon and it's kind of hard to,
Wow, 4 to 5 Casablancas. I mean, that's pretty lofty for a Netflix cartoon, dude.
Yeah, but it has a really special
Casablanca scale.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that one and try it out.
Watch Troll Hunters first. It's 3 seasons. It's really good. It's got some funny parts. You're like, what's funny is it's listed as TV Young 7 or whatever that is, and you're like, really? And you start watching it, it's like, this shit's pretty good. So, John, what's your next one?
You still getting feedback, or are you good?
No, we're good now.
We're good.
Okay. My next one, in order that I watched them, I might delay this one depending on if Gonzo watched it. So when I watched Friday, Gonzo.
Okay, what was it?
Friday, not Friday. I called John.
Excuse me.
Sorry, what was it?
When I called you on the way home. Did you get a chance to see it?
No, I did not get a chance to see it, so spoiler it, of course.
All right, so here's a spoiler-free review of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It is aimed... I'll get all the negatives out of the way first, because there's very few of them. It is aimed a little lower age group than I would have liked. It is definitely firmly PG, not really aiming for PG-13. There are some other things, some harsher things in it, but it is aimed at PG, generally speaking. Younger adults, but still good for adults. And also, the animation style is a little weird because it looks like newsprint. There are actually some people near me who thought they'd wandered into 3D viewing without 3D glasses. It's the animation style is odd on purpose.
Yes.
All right, so the negatives out of the way. That movie was pretty cool. It's a very cool Spider-Man story. The basic gist of it is there's a dimensional doohickey, and it's bringing Spider-Man from other world into Miles Morales' world. And if you don't know who Miles Morales is, you're in for a little treat there.
One of the greatest Spider-Man of all time.
You say so? I didn't know much about him. I knew who he was, but I hadn't read anything with him. But it's very interesting, a good introduction. I love how each Spider-Man sort of gets their own intro, but they don't, in Origin Story, they don't handle it too long. It's like flipping comic pages in comic books. It's super quick. They do a good job with that. Interesting story. It's a lot of the same Spider-Man notes, but that's sort of the thing about Spider-Man, is sort of the idea that you all have the same notes, because they should. Very cool, some cool fights, cool take on some of the villains. It was very well done. Very, very enjoyable. I suggest if you like Spider-Man at all, you should go see it. Definitely worth it. Definitely worth it in the theater at full price. And I'm gonna give it 1 space herpy because it was aimed a little low, and occasionally you're like, come on, get away from the young teen stuff. Let's get to the adulty stuff. But that's more of my adult outlook on it. Still very good. Gonzo, what do you got next?
I watched a TV show called Dairy Girls, and it's Derry, and it is a show about Scottish or the Irish during 95 or so, where the IRA was really, the terrorist attacks were really big. And it's about a group of girls and one guy that are trying to just do high school while this terrorist stuff is happening. It kind of reminds me, if anybody's ever watched The In-Betweeners, it's kind of like the girls' version of In-Betweeners. It's really good. It's really funny. I know some people were like, I could barely understand them, and I go, well, that's an accent thing. If you like good British television or good, overseas comedy, you'll like it. There's a lot of stupid, funny things in there. And it's just about a group of high school girls that are doing a bunch of different things and just trying to get by and be high school girls. But it also highlights the terrorist attacks of the IRA during that time.
It's on Netflix.
It is on Netflix. It is a Netflix
Okay.
show. It was interesting because I went back and, of course, checked the history on some of this stuff and looked at some of the things. And actually, when they were filming the show, they did this parade based on a parade that happened during then. And the residents of the town were like booing and throwing things at them. And they had a lot of problems, trying to get these people to go, hey, we're filming this for the show. And this is the reason why we're doing it, blah, blah, blah. And they got pretty upset because what happened was pretty bad. But it came off really good. I really like it. Can't wait for season 2. If it does get one, I'm pretty sure. But it does end on a downer because it is about a terrorist attacks.
Well, fair.
But it was good. Probably 2 to maybe 2.5 if you really, really, really want to push it. If it's not your thing, but it was worth it.
Kathy, anything else, or should I just go into my third and final?
I'm just thinking about. I have the song "Back Home in Derry" in my head now. I wish I was back home in Derry by Bobby Sands.
I got nothing.
So that's just floating in my head. Well, had a lot of Irish music in my life in the 90s. So
Fair enough.
go ahead.
My last one is a a John Woo movie called Hard Target.
Oh,
It was on my Amazon list. My mom bought it for me because mom's like that. She likes to go on the Amazon list and buy new stuff for me. Holy moly, I had much fonder memories of this movie than it actually is good. Luckily, Banyan and Bowie were there, and we sort of had running commentary on the movie. And it was pretty funny. The movie is basically The Most Dangerous Game remade again, where Lance Henriksen and what's the name of that guy? Arnold Vosloo, who was the bad guy in the Mummy movies and all, are bad guys running a thing where they get rich people to pay for the privilege of hunting people. And it's run pretty well. I mean, the basic concept's solid, of course. They hunt combat veterans and all that. Unfortunately, you can tell that John Woo had some problems with the studio involvement. There's things apparently they wanted. And honestly, whoever edited this movie should be punched repeatedly about the head and face. It is edited poorly. It feels like 2/3 of a movie. There are obviously things missing where you make the connection because, I mean, it's not a hard connection to make. But when you're really looking at it, it really detracts from the movie. I find that the best acting job in the movie was Jean-Claude Van Damme's mullet. I give it an A+. Second goes to Wilford Brimley playing a Cajun Robin Hood, basically, with bow and arrow and awesome accent.
Oh God, that sounds funny.
This movie reminds me a little bit of Con Air because they both have mullet-wielding heroes who are ex-military with terrible accents, though Nicolas Cage had to fake his and Jean-Claude Van Damme's was real. In any case, not even Lance Henriksen, who was completely over the top and totally giving it his all, because he always does. I love Lance Henriksen.
I love Lance Henriksen too.
None of it saves this movie. This movie is mediocre schlock. It is an enjoyable time, better if you have friends, even better if you have alcohol. I give it 3 space herpes because it is not a good action movie. The movie is Hard Target. It is not the worst John Woo movie. It is more watchable than Face Off, I think, because Face Off just goes completely batshit crazy. But, man, I would watch most of the other movies prior to these two.
You don't often hear, John Woo's Wilford Brimley action flick.
I mean, Wilford Brimley was firing those diabetes arrows and really fucking some people up. It was crazy. In any case, Gonzo, quick save us from mediocre movies.
No, it's not going to be a quick save because it is
Aw.
a bad movie. Ant-Man and Wasp.
Oh.
Hold on. That sounds like fighting words.
So I watched it, and it was not good. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. Ant-Man 1 to me was a good, solid one. Ant-Man and Wasp, it just didn't seem like it knew where to go.
Okay, this just in. Gonzo has no soul and doesn't like funny, good things.
No, don't get me wrong. It had some good funny parts. It had some good things. But to me, it felt like the movie was just all over the place with the plots and going things left and right. And it was like, why does this person have this power now? How does she know it? To me, it just, Ant-Man and Wasp, it didn't narrow itself. It looked like it broadened way out too much and went crazy. Cool fight scenes and stuff. But I mean, maybe it's just because I liked Ant-Man 1 a lot more. And Ant-Man and Wasp, it was just okay. But I think some
you're
of the...
in the right mood for that movie because I think it may be. I mean, there are only a few Marvel movies. This one, I don't think this is the third or best of them. I think this might be second or first best of the Marvel movies that came out this year.
No, I just couldn't. To me, the movie seemed all over the place. It didn't seem like it narrowed itself into certain things, and it just kind of floated around too much, in my opinion. It was still good. Special effects were great. Lines are good. What's his face retellings is the best part of all the movies, either one of them, because he's just so hilarious when he retells a story. But it was okay. I'm talking like 2 space herpes maybe, but it wasn't bad. Just felt like it didn't narrow enough on it, in my opinion. So I should just go with my rest of them, I guess, because I got quite a bit more running out of time.
Oh yeah, we're running out of time.
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, Venom. Rented Venom. Watched it. It wasn't bad either. About 2 space herpes, but I think the problem with Venom as a show, as a movie, is we're all used to Venom being the bad guy, and Venom technically really wasn't the bad guy in this. He was more of a good guy, but that's kind of how they're going with it. And it seems to me like they're just, let's just throw as many Marvel things as we can in. He did eat people, but here's the thing, Banyan. He wasn't evil. He wasn't Venom like I'm used to Venom. You know, it was like, oh, I'm going to be evil. Don't do that. Okay, I won't do that.
He ate people. He wasn't really that evil.
No, Venom has done a lot more evil things than this. I don't think it's hard to make a movie about a bad guy when the bad guy is restrained.
It's also hard to make a movie about a character.
That's a secondary character.
That's a secondary character in someone else's story, and you don't have that guy in the story.
Correct.
You have to approach it fresh. And I hear if you approach it fresh, it's actually pretty enjoyable.
Yeah, the person I was watching with didn't know much about Venom and watched it and says that was pretty cool. Had some cool special effects. I do have a problem with the way Venom looked because I didn't like all the veiny look to it. But that's because I'm used to having Venom being, the black suit and just pure black type thing and smooth.
See, I feel like I might like it then, not having read much with Venom in it.
Did they not go for the googly eyes and everything?
No.
I think the googly eyes made it.
So I mean, it was about a 2.
About a 2? Okay.
Yeah, not bad. It had some really cool special effects. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the next one because I believe Carnage is going to be in it. And the after credit scene was pretty interesting to know who they chose to be. I put air quotes around Carnage. Like everybody else on Netflix, I watched Bird Box.
I didn't.
Everybody's been watching it, so I did think it was funny. Someone was like, how does Netflix figure out that 14 million people watched Bird Box and only 6 accounts did that? Because everybody's sharing accounts. Really good movie. I was captivated through the whole thing. It was one of those post-apocalyptic movies that they actually give you a decent explanation of how it happened. you don't know who the real bad guys are. They don't give 100% explanation and stuff, but they give you enough. So it was worth it. Really good post-apocalyptic horror movie. Give it a go. You'll enjoy it. I'd say 2 pushing it. Cool special effects. Really neat things.
I like Sandra Bullock.
And Sandra Bullock was really good in this. It was a new twist on things. I know. Okay. Next one I watch, and I remember as a kid, and I really enjoyed this one because it didn't shy away from what it was. And everybody knows the new BBC version of Watership Down. And everybody knows how brutal Watership Down is. This one was really good. It hit you in the feels, did everything you're supposed to do, like the original cartoon. My only really weird thing is they had a really weird animation thing going on with it because it's all computerized and stuff. And it was just off. The animation was just off a little bit while you're watching it. Story's still good. Actors are good.
It was the uncanny valley of bunnies.
Yeah. But I mean, it was good. If you liked Watership Down, you'll like this. You can binge watch it in a day because it's, not very long. But it pretty much, it gets you in all the feels and you're like, oh shit, type thing. Because I actually, yeah, it should. And which I thought was interesting was I was reading some reviews of it, and when it aired in the BBC, people were calling the BBC complaining because their kids were crying and were distraught and they couldn't finish watching it. And I'm like, that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So highly recommend it. Go watch it if you like the original. 2 TV shows that I watched the new seasons of: Travelers season 3. And if you like it, you'll like season 3. But they, at the end of it, they're not sure it's going to get a new season because they did a full reboot.
Oh.
So, won't, not to spoil it, but there's a reboot coming up with it, and they're not sure if they're getting a season 4. Watched Peaky Blinders season 4, which I love the Peaky Blinders. I've never been really into that type of time period, but I like this one. One thing I think is really good what they did with this show is the music for the show is not music for that time. It's modern day music. So you're going to have a gunfight with heavy metal music, which isn't interesting. But it was really good. Great actors. This season was Soprano-like. People dying, people fighting all the time. Lots of twists and turns. Go see it.
It's on my watch list. So many people tell me.
Yeah, you would like it, Kathy.
Like that one.
Yeah, I think you would like it. I also
Really?
watched.
Yeah.
Do what?
I'd never heard of it before.
Oh, go watch it. You'll probably like it.
Yeah, it's on my
I have
list.
too much stuff on my list. I'm not going to watch that.
Yeah,
Right.
you might. I also watched Atypical season 2, which is about an autistic high school student. Still good, still funny, a good drama. If you like season 1, you like season 2. I did finish the Bleach movie, even though Banyan said no. I had to do it anyway. I didn't care for it. It sucked. We're talking four space herpes. But it is better than the Full Metal Alchemist movie. It's sad.
Oh, that bar's kind of low to be better then.
Yeah.
I made a little hop. Look at me. I'm over.
Yeah. Something that I watched, something that brought back some really, really good memories, and I still laughed, and it still got some of the stuff, even though I know all of them, is I watched the old movie Little Giants. If anybody remembers Little Giants, is with Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis, where Ed O'Neill is the super coach for football Pee Wee League, and of course Rick Moranis doesn't know jack shit. And so it's the underdogs versus, the power guys. That movie's still funny. It's still got some good lines in it. And I'm not saying it's up there with Sandlot, but it's right there close to Sandlot type nostalgia.
For me, they're the same category.
Yeah, they're the same type of category. Just Sandlot has got some.
Fun.
Sandlot just, I think it has more.
That category's movies I haven't seen.
Oh, dang.
Sandlot is a good movie.
Yes.
That was kind of below my age range when it came out, as I'm sure you both know.
But no, that was
It's
good.
not a kid movie though. I mean, it is and it isn't. I have a friend who it's one of her favorite movies,
It is.
and I had
It's
never seen it, and she's like,
it's
I have to show
now.
you this movie.
Yeah.
It's like you can't see the Goonies now coming in if you didn't see Goonies back then.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
No. Sandlot's still
I've
good.
seen Goonies. It's different. It's a different thing. There's a different thing going on with it.
Yeah.
I find a lot of those movies, if you don't see them back when it's more relevant, when you come in later, it's just not going to be as relevant.
No.
I never saw it until a few years ago. So, and it isn't the kind of movie that I would have chosen for myself. But I did enjoy it. I'm not going to go watch it again, but it was good.
I'd watch it if it's on, but I'm not going to go out of my way.
Yeah. But I did while I was watching it was like, man, this is such a simple movie. There's not this convoluted plot it doesn't try to be something it's not. It was just a simple movie. You just sit back, enjoy it. You know it's coming. You know, because you've seen it before. And if you haven't, you know it's coming anyway. But it was just simple and good. I don't want to even give it a rating because it is a pretty damn old movie. And it comes in, but maybe for nostalgia reason, 0 Slurpees. But by today's standards, it would probably be 2.5, 3.
You could always fall back to the, Atlantic Rim to Casablanca.
It's closer to Casablanca than it is to Atlantic Rim. How about that? So, and that was it.
The space herpy type of movie, about good, maybe a little not well aged, but good. From what I hear, and I've seen clips.
So, other than that, that's episode 62 and the end of the year for us, guys.
It's in the can. The year is in the can.
Yep.
Almost. I got to work tomorrow.
Yep.
I still haven't decided if I want to play Diablo at my friend's LAN party tomorrow before the New Year's Eve party.
Be on the eye for our Facebook page and to get some of the new, excuse me as I burp, some of the new things coming out for us next year. We have a lot of things coming out, a lot of things happening. Be prepared.
I want to thank Mechanica Studios, our sponsor.
Yes, thanks Mechanica Studios for doing it, and Dan at Tectonicraft Studios still sponsoring us.
Okay.
Other than that,
I'm John.
I'm Kathy.
And I'm Gonzo. Good night, guys.
Damn, John!
I was waiting for it. I was going to give you the chance. Let you have the end of the year one.
I appreciate you giving me the chance there. I'm not on my A game right now.
I know. I'm really, really excited for this next year, guys. There's going to be some really cool stuff happening. I hope everybody is
feel
there.
better. I feel like I headbutted somebody with my nose and I don't remember it.
That's
What,
okay.
you got like a sinus infection or something?
No, it just really just all through here. It's weird. But, hey, you adult the fuck up and keep going.
Well, yeah.